and we are walking and we are talking. It is Brett Reckamp with the Sadle Real Estate Team, and I am at a construction site, I guess you could say. It's about, 3/4 full, it appears, here in the Beaverton area, and we are talking about new construction. Now, we're gonna visit some people who I helped buy their house here in Beaverton. In the end, they ended up buying a brand new house in a pretty good spot, to be honest with you, right off of Strolls Ferry Road in the Beaverton area, so kind of southwest of Portland. It's a pretty good area and development. We'll talk about the pluses and minuses of buying a new house. Probably pretty obvious. You're talking about a smaller lot, a little less elbow room when you buy new, but you also get, generally speaking, like a 10-year warranty. Everything is brand new, like a car, right? Except for it doesn't lose value like a car does. When you buy a house and it's brand new at one of these developments, you're pretty much just staking your claim for value. Everything is gonna work. It's just a matter of your lot, your view, your location, kind of what you want. If you end up buying a custom house and getting a chance to pick out your plan, then you have that advantage as well. Things like colors, to a certain extent. There's a palette for each of these home builders. Here we have David Weekley Homes, we have Taylor Morrison Homes, we have Lennar Homes. These are some of the larger builders that will come in and they'll develop areas. When you're buying a new house, location is super important, obviously. And I'm talking about the big picture. First of all, you want to find a place, that when you look on a map, you're like, okay, depending on where I work, I can make that happen. Where I'm coming from here is not too far from Mountainside High School. And then once you decide, generally speaking, where you might want to, purchase new, now you're talking about builder selection. You're discussing precise lots. Maybe there's a deal on a model home. You might get lucky and, find a builder in a pinch looking to close on a particular house, which frankly, my buyers were able to do. And so they got a screaming deal on their house. Why? Because that builder needed a close in the month of March. And so my clients ended up getting just a killer deal total on their home purchase. And they decided this was the way to go for them. They've only been in here for about, a couple months, and they're super happy. So we're going to talk about new construction here in the Beaverton area. And you can also find other spots around town. But really, if you want to buy new in Portland, this is probably the biggest sprawling area in Washington County. This is where you'll find a lot of the larger, tract homes, if you will, for lack of a better word. One thing you'll notice about some of these new houses is how they're situated. The front is not always the front. In these houses that are behind me here, yes, the front of the house faces that other road, but they also have this private drive that you can see behind me. And so you come in off the street, you take a little left if you're coming off of Barrows Road as it is, and then you come down here and you'll see the back of their houses. They all have nice fences and so forth, and there's where the parking is. So you have some kind of private drive parking to the rear, plus your garage and everything else. So some of these houses are set up that way. Location, as I mentioned at the outside, is critical. So what's your view going to be like? Where are the other houses going to go? That's super important. Are you going to be, staring right down the barrel of your neighbor? Hey, little doggy. Or not? And where you are is just the way it is. So you want to feel comfortable in that spot. And I wanted to show you this area behind me as a homeowner comes home for the day. This is kind of a cool spot. If you'll notice, it's like an area where there's water and so forth, and that will never be built on. So my owners happen to have one of these spots. And it's nice because now they know exactly what's going to happen. That's going to be their vibe, their view. No one's going to build right in front of them. It's a little bit about some new construction here in Beaverton. And we love to help. If you're moving to the area, give us a shout. Sadle Real Estate Team. I am Brett Reckamp. We do take your texts and your phone calls and your emails and all that good stuff. And we work closely with these builders to get our buyers the very best deal. There's discounts. There are points to be had. Or when it comes to, your loan, they'll give you special deals depending if you want to use their preferred lender. Or we have preferred lenders as well that can get good deals. So we're going to go in. We're going to meet some brand new homeowners. Happen to be in a David Weekley house. In just a sec. Man, we went through a lot of houses, didn't we, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about like your thought process, because you're a perfect example of people who are not brand new to the area. You were living here for a little while, but you didn't exactly know where you wanted to go or precisely what type of house you wanted. So we hit how many houses? About 24?
Yeah, I'd say about 20, 30 houses,
Yeah, and after a little while, it's like, I know what you like, but how did you end up with a brand new house, David and Lillian?
Well, I think, we moved here from an area of the U.S. where the majority of housing is new, and we'd never really lived in a home that was any older than from the 1990s. And when we came here, we were kind of excited to interact with the older homes because they were so, interesting and unique to us.
Right.
But
character, we talked about.
Yeah, a lot of character for sure. But we also had very little idea of the requirements of owning an older home and the responsibilities of going with that. Mm-hmm. And we saw a lot of interesting things for sure, but we had one that got away for sure.
Yeah,
we did.
There were a couple
that
got away.
We had two. We had one in particular.
Yeah.
But it was so competitive that we drew a line in the sand. And it was like, we're not paying that.
Yeah, that home we got in really early, so we were ambitious that we might get lucky. But yeah, the competition for that one was intense, and we ended up kind of opting not to stretch ourselves too thin.
Yeah,
it kind of ends up boiling down to like the ones that are really competitive and like in really good shape.
Right.
You fight for, and then the ones that are a little less desirable, you pass over. So then you're kind of left in the in-between, especially if you don't know how to maintain and upkeep like an older home.
Right.
Yeah, I guess like our hesitation was like we were afraid to be aggressive with our offers on these homes and you stretch ourselves thin and then end up in a home that we're initially excited about, but then there are all sorts of things that we hadn't budgeted for that might end up
just didn't
maybe
know.
a roof or pipes or something.
The unseen, right? Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just maybe not for you. It's like, ugh, you don't want that. So
I wouldn't say that we're super handy. So,
well, you make money doing what you do well, and that's the whole idea. And then you let other people handle this stuff.
Yeah.
So this house here, I remember when we, when we found it. Tell us a little bit about the lifestyle. The good and the bad. Is there anything bad about living in a brand new house like this?
I guess you could say like a lot of people would say that having an HOA is like a negative experience.
Oh, yeah.
But even then, like,
angles here.
Our HOA is like super pleasant, hasn't bothered us at all.
Yeah, we haven't had any issues.
Yeah, so a lot of people would say that's bad. We personally haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
But also we come from somewhere where you can't escape HOAs, so I think that we were kind of...
We're like primed for it.
They're baked into your mentality. Okay, so HOA, whatever. Mm. Those exist. Coming to and from, did it feel like home after a little while?
I think almost immediately.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This particular unit here, these rows of houses, there's a front and then there's this back area, and I talked about it in my video earlier. What do you think about that setup where you actually turn into a kind of a side yard?
Yeah, it makes your yard feel very private. in the back, especially because, you know, you kind of really have no one looking into your yard at all. And the view is great. You know, maybe for like newer homes, the yard sizes are smaller than what you typically get. But I think for us, it's plenty of yard.
I feel like, yeah, this is like way more generous than I had primed myself to accept. For sure, seeing lots of other new builds with like abysmal backyards that you can't even put a grill in.
Right.
Yeah, but I honestly, I really like that our garage is in the back, because when you look at the house, it is just like a charming traditional house front that's not taken up by the garage. So I think it gives it like I don't know, like a charm, you know. It's very cute from the outside, even you know, even though it is a new build and the homes are similar style, it, you know, it has a vibe to it.
I love it. I love it. It fits you guys, and man, everything works, right?
Yeah.
How nice is that? I got a 10-year warranty basically on
Guaranteed
everything.
to work.
Yeah.
And then you get to, you know, create your own vibe. Here we have a little bit of furniture, and I'm not going to show your inside of your house as you move in, but you get the idea. It's brand new. You bought some cool tables, you know.
Yeah, you got like the blank slate experience, or you can kind of put yourself onto the.
It's like, okay, what do we need first,
personality.
or whatever, and then you find some cool deals, and off you go. Well, congrats, you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Super stoked for you, and I'm glad you're, you know, living in Beaverton now instead of Las Vegas. We win.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really happy with our decision.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Thank you.